Jennifer Salke, head of Amazon Prime Video, very proud to talk about over 55 million people engaged.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah, let's read this. Let's get her exact phrasing. Okay, let's see what it was. In an interview with Variety, Salke was asked, how have you found the reaction to season 2? She replied, obviously very different marketing levels and all of that to season 1. Yeah, you didn't put out trailers on YouTube that got destroyed on a weekly basis. You kind of skipped that phase because it didn't go so well the first time. And you didn't try to super fan it up. No super fan.
I forgot about those videos. Oh, God. I'd memory hold the peeing man.
Of course, there's a different season 1 because you barely marketed this. They marketed it on Twitter to the stands who touched themselves repeatedly over all the shipping that was going to happen. But that being said, over 55 million people at this point have engaged since season 2 launch. So this interview was given about 3-4 days ago. We could say probably happened on October 9th, and they released it on around 8th or 9th, October 10th. So the series was over at this point. Season over. She's saying over the lifetime of season 2, 55 million people engaged. Guys, can we hazard a guess how many people on Amazon have Prime?
It's a good one. All of them.
Amazon Prime. If everybody actually on Prime watched everything on Prime Video, Amazon would win because they have the biggest install base. Netflix is the winner of the streaming war because they're the OG. But if Prime actually tapped into its audience who are just people who buy shit and have Prime and therefore get Prime Video, they would win hands down because we're talking hundreds of millions of people, not just 150 million like Disney Plus or how much Netflix? A couple hundred million?
They're definitely the 100 million.
Yeah. It's more than
absolutely.
Yeah, but we're talking hundreds of millions of people because Amazon has its roots in around the world. It's not just the 300 plus 50 plus million people in America, but every other population densely congregated around the world has an Amazon their suffix for their nation, their country built in, and people use Prime. I don't. I'm an outlier because, like I said, I'm a cheap bastard. So I will not do that. But they have a built-in thing. So everybody watched it. You should have off the charts.
I don't understand how they make any money off of Prime Video.
They don't.
They don't.
It's
not
vanity.
One dime.
It's vanity. It's totally.
It's vanity project is a good way of putting it. Rings of Power, especially, is vanity project. But just think about this number for a minute. 55 million over. I looked at the original article. That's over the 34 days. So 34 days, 55 million engagements, whatever that's supposed to mean. That's 6.8 per episode. So let's say those were views.
If you go even, if you break it down evenly.
Yeah, evenly. I mean, trying to be as fair as we have the ability to be, but that's 6.8 per episode, consolidated to some of them up to the month level. So that's actually really bad. Even if engagement, she meant views, that's 6 million in a month for some of these episodes.
And
that's not the win she thinks it is.
So it's so she says 55 million since Gain season 2. Like you said, that's a lot of problems there. Of note, Salke does not claim the show was viewed 55 million times. She claims 55 million people engaged with the show immediately after noting how season 1 and season 2 had different marketing levels.
Now, what does engagement mean? Because that has different definitions.
Yeah. What does engaging with a show actually mean? Does it mean anyone who served an ad promoting Rings of Power season 2? Does it include people who never watch a show, but might have watched a YouTube video from Nerdrotic discussing how terrible the show is? Or me. You can watch me too. And Jed. Does it include page impressions on the Rings of Power's IMDb page?
It might because Amazon owns IMDb.
There you go.
It could 100% be how many people looked it up on IMDb.
Does it include people who fell asleep watching something on Amazon Prime and having it roll over to Rings of Power, which I had people who I stream with, including Static in the chat here, say it will roll it over before you can stop it? Is that engagement?
Well, for season 1, they talked about a view being counted as clicking on the Amazon page, not even opening one of the videos, not even opening one of the episodes, just looking at the Rings of Power banner where it has like the episodes listed. So yeah, even taking this as engagements views, it's a failure. But when you break down what engagement actually means, it could mean anything, but all the interpretations are it's a disaster. This is not a win. Why are you bragging about this? No interpretation of this phrase can lead to the show is successful.
I mean, it's not a win. Let me bring this up right here. Let me attach it to the thing here. See if I can get there. We go. Where these guys want to. Here's a stand, a complete and total stand. I don't mean to start out for, but when nobody calls it trop, everybody says ROP. So that's everything. We want to call it trop. When Rings of Power haters say the show is a ratings flop, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm so confused. Seriously. Amazon reporting it's the most viewed on Amazon.
Oh, come on.
That doesn't mean shit. That's meaningless. It's like saying I'm the most important person in this room and I'm the only person in this room.
That's a good one.
Of course. If I'm the only person in the room and I'm just taking care of myself, of course I'm the most important person in this room. So if it's the biggest show on your channel, of course it's the most viewed show on your streaming service. I guarantee if Reacher had a new season right now, launched at the same time as Rings of Power, it would dwarf.
Oh, absolutely.
Rings of Power.
Citadel Diana did just come out, so that is a fair comparison, even though no one has any idea what Citadel is, even though the Russo brothers are involved. It's insanely expensive. But yeah, what else that's popular came out? I think they specifically keep Rings of Power coming out away from all the other releases so that they can brag about stuff like this. It's the most successful thing. It's top 10 on Amazon Prime. They just eliminate its own competition to make it look like it's winning.
Yeah. So this is the stand mentality. It's big corpo tells me something, I believe it because I'm a dog waiting for you to take a dump in my mouth, or I'm waiting for the dog to dump.
Lord.
You know the meme. God damn it!
I know, but God.
Moving on. Just not dwelling on my boomer moment. This is how the retards think. So it's no surprise that she'll say 55 million people watched, and combined with you hear the word million, millions, billions. If you are an idiot who just listens for hot keywords to trigger pre-programmed thoughts in your stand drone NPC mind, so you hear that stuff, you think, oh, there you go, winning. But you don't do research. Bark Place says right here, nevertheless, she continues. If you look at the long-term trajectory, which is how this company looks at an asset like that, this is a long-term investment in that franchise. She then declared that there's well over 150 million viewers watching and engaging with the show. Where does that number come from? You just said only 55 million people engaged.
Why would you start with engagements if you were going to say 150 million views?
Yeah, so you just make a great point. Make it make sense. What are you talking about? This is word salad. This is word salad meant to confuse and play to low information idiots.
Well, it contradicts itself. Yeah. Just like they point out in the next paragraph, if only 55 million people engaged with it, whatever the definition of that is, that means the number who viewed it has to be lower or equal to or lower. It can't be nearly 3 times as much. That is just insane. These people don't know how basic numbers work.
Yep. And, Park Place pointed it out right there. We just said it. So this whole thing is ridiculous. And we have to remember, when season 1 ended, it lost 70% of its audience from the premiere to the finale. Nielsen data reveals the Rings of Power total minutes watched declined by over 26% as Salky tries to spin this. We just talked about these numbers. Now, we are laymen here. We are not numbers guys, not hardcore numbers guys. I definitely am not.
We're not autistic.
Yeah, we do our best.
That's fair.
We don't register it on a certain level. I don't have the sources that I can either get numbers for or properly dig into it. But some of these guys here who do this stuff are. Data tracking from firm Nielsen released new data that shows, now this is the tracking numbers, not just what we showed you, but now we're getting into somebody looked into the nuts and bolts of it that they can get, that Nielsen provides. Data shows that watch time for Rings of Power Season 2's third week on its top 10 charts declined over 26% as Salky claimed that it was a success. Nielsen revealed via Variety that Lord of the Rings Power saw a total minutes watched. This is what we just looked at, which is what I just showed you. That's a sharp decline. That means people have stopped watching. Even by the messed up metric of million minutes viewed, people stopped watching. So now for episodes 6, 7, and 8, I feel safe saying we're guaranteed to watch it sink into the bottom 5. I don't think it's going to fall off completely.
I hope it does.
Well,
the battle episode, please let it be the battle episode that it falls off.
I don't think it can fall off completely, but what I think is that because of the way we described it, it's got all the episodes counted for both seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll fall off for that reason. That's the reason I don't think it falls off. There's too many extra factors making it cling to life. But I think it may be at 9 or 10 by the finale. Even though Samba had it rise, that's that thing. Samba, just Samba. Nielsen takes in everything into account. So it may register, and that would be a interesting fact to point out. They can claim it's the number 1 on Amazon Prime on this moment. But when we get to, well, was this that period of time? Hang on. Yeah. So when we get,
12th.
Yeah. So that was this week. Yeah. It's like this because the stands are watching it over again. How many times do I see the stands constantly saying, I'm stuck on this part. I'm rewatching over here. That's what they're doing. They're juicing it. They tried to do it with Acolyte and it failed. Now, I'll wager there are more Rings of Power fans than there are Acolyte fans. I'll wager that.
I can believe that.
I can guarantee that's accurate.
So they might be able to fudge these numbers on Amazon, and make it show up, but it's still registering the point that there's a decline. And when they're the only ones left watching, which is the big secret that the shills and the corpos and the stands don't really like to talk about, the big secret that the core audience, the people who are really the diehards for this, are the minorities. They're the minorities. They aren't us. To steal their phrase, there are more of us.
Absolutely.
And it's been proven. So they want to pretend. Salky wants to pretend that it's a big success. Numbers are doing that. So I find it really strange when she comes out and says, we might buy the rights from Embracer Group. Now, Amazon has the money. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. This wouldn't, I don't know how this would register as Rings of Power being a success. This is them trying to get the rest of it so they can butcher it more.
Oh, aren't you ready for, as soon as Rings of Power is over, they're going to remake the original trilogy following off the lore of Rings of Power?
Ain't no way.
Using the same actors.
Well, I mean, Jesus, Jed, how many times have we said now, these idiots who support this, they think this shit is canon.
They think it's better than Peter Jackson's or Tolkien stuff.
They do.
They've said it's an improvement.
All right. I'm going to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I am going to bring it up since you brought that up. Here it is. I got 2 from the Mary Sue.
Oh
yeah, the Mary Sue stuff.
The Mary Sue.
I saw one of them.
They actually have the nerve to say it's doing Rings of Power is doing Tolkien lore better than the movies.
Big question: are they blind?
Yes.
No, but they're very gay.
They're very gay, yeah.
Because then I couldn't find it right away, but there's another one in here that said the Rings of Power were not you can't eat. Yeah, but it was done with love and respect.
It was a lot more accurate. We're talking about 95% accurate versus 3.
There is no, to say it's grounded in lore is bullshit because Galadriel
Oh boy.
doesn't exist in any of the scenarios or stories they're projecting in Rings of Power. She's not there.
Are you acting like canon and lore are such vastly different things that they don't
Also,
coexist?
Are you going to make me play the clip? Are you going to make me play the clip?
I am so tired of people hating on this show. Yes, it is not perfect. This show is not Lord of the Rings. It is an original story. It does not have to follow Tolkien's lore and timelines. You need to watch it as if Lord of the Rings did not exist. If you saw this show and had never heard of Lord of the Rings before, you would not be so negative.
I thought you were going to show the clip when Elrond was kissing his married mother-in-law.
I don't have that clip. What's the matter with you? I'm not a degenerate. Jesus Christ.
Not really.
No. There's another article in here where they use this particular screen cap saying it's okay to ship that shit because it's hot.
Oh God.
I have that one for you.
You got that? Bring it up. I couldn't find it fast enough. Bring it up. Yeah.
It's hot. What are we doing?
It makes abuse is not romance.
I am so confused. The American culture is so broken. Our culture is so broken. On one hand, all sex is sexual assault on one side, and on the other side, it's hot if you beat me if I want to be beat.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. What is happening?
Even the Lego games got Lord of the Rings right. I'm not saying something when even Lego gets it right.
Gracious Lord.
Here's the thing.
Lord Jesus, send the meteorite. I'm ready.
Dre, does this look like the Lady of Light, the most beautiful of elven women? You know, woman of poise and grace.
That woman reminds me of this white woman I met at in North Carolina. And I was at the Kroger's, and she thought that I wanted watermelon when I walked in the front door.
You want some watermelon and grape soda?
Yeah, and I did, which was the bad part. That I actually did want it. So she was kind of right, but still, she shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, this is the same chick right here. Oof.
Oh
Oof.
God.
And that's her face as she's trying to convince someone to join her side or like to side with her against Sauron.
Yeah.
Now I don't know who this actress is.
Morfydd Clark.
Is she just bad in everything she's in, or
this is the only thing we've ever seen her in?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in anything else. But Dre, with his face here, which just I don't know what type of emotion that's tried to sell. Does this look like he's about to skewer her with a crown?
Jed, use the right word. Penetrate.
Penetrate's
a fun word.
Yeah.
The stands thought all of this scene was sex. They saw it as sex.
Well,
do these people not know what sex is?
They might all be virgins.
Because this ain't it.
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's a clip. There's a new clip right there. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.